As a former collegiate student athlete, I started the Athlete's Mindset with one goal in mind: to create a platform where athletes can share their stories, speak honestly about the mental side of their sport, and shed a light on the challenges and triumphs that often go unseen. This podcast is about more than the stats and highlights. It's about the journey, the growth, and the mindset it takes to keep going. Today on the Athlete's Mindset, we're joined by Dalys Beanum, a standout cornerback from Omaha, Nebraska, who carved out an impressive career at South Dakota State University. During his time with the Jackrabbits, Dalys recorded 12 interceptions, tying for third in program history, and contributed to back-to-back FCS national championships in 2022 and 2023. Dallas's journey is a testament to resilience and determination. Despite going undrafted, he signed a 3-year contract with the New Orleans Saints in 2025. In this episode, we dive into his path from Omaha to the NFL, discussing the challenges he faced, the mindset required to overcome them, and the importance of leadership and community support. Dalys also shares his insights into differences between college football and the professional league, offering valuable advice for young athletes aspiring to reach the next level. Let's get into it. Dalys, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Doing good, man. I'm glad to be with my old quarterback back in the
Yes, sir.
flesh. So I'm excited, man. I'm glad you got me on the podcast. So I'm excited for today.
Yes, sir. Happy to have you here. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, Dalys was my number one receiver in high school. He was an absolute dog, and then ended up going to South Dakota State to play cornerback. But Dalys, if you just want to talk about your journey to where you are now, just start from high school and all the way through.
Man, so from Omaha, Nebraska, went to Midwest, played football, basketball, and track, football being my number one sport. And really at first, it was kind of tough because I wasn't getting as many looks as I thought I would get, like for the next level. So it was kind of frustrating, but I just kept putting my head down, keep working, and then I knew it would come at some point. And then I went to mega camp in Lindenwood my junior or my summer going into my senior year, and I had a good camp. Had like 5 or 6 schools offered me some scholarships, so I mean that kind of started my whole journey in terms of I was like, oh, I can really do this. And one school in particular, South Dakota State, really caught my eye, and they was really interested in me, and they showed me a lot of love right from the start. So they were my first offer, and didn't take a long for me to commit to there. I think I committed like a month later, and I just wanted to get the commitment out of the way before the season started, just so I could focus just on the season and just focus on winning the championship. And so we had a good senior year. We ended up short, but it was a great year, and it was with some of my best friends. So, I mean, I can't ask for anything more. So then, we finished high school, and then hit COVID. COVID was crazy.
Yeah.
So that was kind of weird, and just in terms of like everyone's just sitting at home, like just doing at home workouts, like that. So I was just like, dang, I got to make sure my body's right for college. Like I got to be as strong as I can, all that stuff. So I was just working out all the time, and obviously, like I think I went up there at like 165, so I was a
Yeah. Yeah.
scrawny little dude.
Tiny.
And then
Yeah.
so then I went up there, and it was just so weird because like everything was COVID, everyone was wearing masks, you couldn't even see half people's faces. So you're just like, is this really what college is like? Like I hate this.
Yeah.
And but like it was kind of tough because our season got canceled like a week or two after I went up there. So I'm like, dang, like I came here to play football, and now I can't even play football. Um, so that was tough. And then they shortly announced that we'd have a spring season, which is so backwards because like usually you play in the fall and then you go to spring ball in the off season, but it was so backwards. So we had to do so around when I got there in August, we did like a spring ball in the fall, which is weird.
Yeah.
And we did that until like Thanksgiving, went home for Thanksgiving, and then we came back and did some like pretty much like summer workouts that you do on a normal year, and then getting ready for our fall camp because we had a spring season. So it was kind of tough just being still during COVID, and just kind of you didn't really get to know all the guys because of COVID, so you wasn't able to connect with them as close as you wanted to, and offense and defense were separated like crazy. So we went through the spring season. Everything was good. It was just weird getting used to wearing masks in games and just like social distancing
Yeah.
and stuff. So, but we made the championship that spring season. So like off the jump, like I'm like, oh, we really winning. Like this is kind of
Yeah.
nice. And we lost unfortunately, but then we had to go. We had like maybe a week or two of rest and had to go right back into another season for the
Yeah.
fall. So everyone like I know like the 6 year seniors, I know they're tired and they're
Yeah.
hurting all that stuff. So I'm just like, well, I'm still young. I'm gonna keep working, trying to earn my way. And so I'd say I think I played in like maybe we had like 11 games. I think I played in like nine of them. So I was in it. The good thing was it was almost like a red shirt year without red shirting because that season didn't count for no one.
Yeah.
So I was able to get experience and get some play and all that stuff. So going into the fall of the next season, this would be fall of 2021. I played in all the games. You know, I contributed as a big special teams guy. And then later in the season, when like injuries started coming, that's when I started kind of finding myself in the rotation at corner. And I think it was the first round of the playoffs. I had that three interception game, and that's why I'm like, bro, like I don't know what just happened, but
I'm
that
gonna be a
was
first
lit.
rounder. Yeah.
You feel me? I'm like, oh, I'm lit. And then like first game, I did that. Second game, we went to Sacramento State. I had a pretty good game because I was on the rotation. And then we made it to the semis and we played Montana State. And my coach didn't play me at all. And I'm like, what's up? Like, I just had a
Yeah.
crazy, you know what I mean, crazy run. And, you know, at like certain positions, like you got to have a confidence level to be able to play that position because if your confidence is low, I mean, it's just tough to play that position. That's the truth
Yeah.
of it. So I didn't play at all that game. We lost and we going into the offseason, I'm like, dang, like they really don't mess with me. Like, I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on. So then we had a graduating senior in our corner room that year. So I was just like, I mean, it's a chance for me to earn that starting spot. Like I'm trying to get there. And then all off season I had a good spring ball, you know, working my ass off in the weight room. And then the next season comes through. Well actually let me before we even get to the next season, during the off season we had a mental strength coach and he like really focused us on like connecting with each other on a deeper level and learning why people are playing this game deeper than just being my teammate. You know what I mean? Like you got to really know why this guy next to me is willing to, you know, like work his ass off at workouts and like why he's willing to, you know, go to
Yeah.
war with me. And I feel like I mentioned earlier, that's what COVID kind of allowed us not to be able to do. So it was nice to be able to connect with uh, a second string O lineman that's from like small town like Iowa. You know what I mean? I would never,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You would never talk to him, but you'd be cool with like everyone on the team. And I feel like that took us to a different level and you would never think that. But in terms of like after COVID, I feel like every team needs that connectiveness and like connectivity to take your team to the next level. So I feel like that helped us out a lot. And that was the year we played. So this is going into fall 22. We played Iowa first game. We
Uh,
lost seven to, you know what game I'm talking about. We lost
yeah.
seven to
That game was.
three, no
Hey.
touchdowns.
Hey, defense was insane though. You guys played great on
Hey,
defense. It was a
that's what
tough
I'm
watch.
saying.
It was a tough offensive watch, but defensively, you guys were balling.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. So like in my head after that game, I'm like, we lost, but did we lose? Like, but like I'm like, but you know the coaches are like, I mean, it's a team game, so I'm like, yeah, but like you got to think about like we just held a Big Ten team to a field goal and they had
Oh,
two safeties.
and
You
they
know
had
what I
two
mean?
safeties. Yeah.
So I'm like, should we get? I mean, even though we lost, like you got to take that. You got to take that. I ain't gonna lie. So we went on with the rest of the season. I think that's the only game we lost that season. And I mean, obviously it was a long season and I didn't end up starting and that kind of messed with me at first. But I was like that the first corner off the bench and like you know how it is with like playing time. Like it doesn't matter if you start, it just matters who plays the most. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There'd be games where I was pretty much like playing like a starter, but it was just like it hit different when you're announced like a starter, you know what I mean? They see you
Yeah.
start.
100%.
So like that hit me kind of deeper, but like I just, you know, decided to just be like, hey, I'm just keep my head down and not worry about this at all and just control what I can control. And I just kept like, you know, just doing what I could do. And just like, there's games where injuries would happen and they would need me to start. Like, I can't just be up here and down here. I got to be just right here and just be ready for when my numbers calls. So We went on to that year, and I think I was. This also kind of put a chip on my shoulder was because I had a pretty good year, and they gave me like honorable mention all conference, and like it's like
Yeah.
it's still all conference, but honorable mention. They don't feel like you really got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that kind of flipped some gears in me, and so still I just didn't worry about it, and that's kind of the start when I started like just not listening to the like outside world and just kind of
Yeah.
focus on what I got to do. And yeah, so we won a championship that year, and it was amazing. Like that was our second time going to the championship, but first time winning it. So it was just amazing to be part of that. And then we was getting the same team back the next season, so we're like, oh, we're running it back. And so uh, and then we had a graduating senior in the corner room, so I was like, this is my spot to be. This is my spot now. Like I got to take this. But then a month later, my shoulder started messing up. Cause remember, I had a, like low key like a
Uh,
hurt. Yeah.
yeah, you had it
So it
quite a
started.
while.
Yeah. So it started like I did something and it hurt bad. Like I was like talking to the trainers, like I got to do something. So I had to get surgery, labrum repair, and so that was in February of 2023, and I was out for like 6 months. And so it hurt me just being out of spring ball and like you just watching from the sidelines
Yeah.
while like and I haven't started like I haven't been a lock-in starter. So I'm like my spot could really get taken right now. So I was just doing everything I could and rehab and everything and just trying to keep my head down and like waking up at like 4 or 5 a.m. just like getting to the facility, working out, doing whatever I can. And just working my ass off and everything. And then it was a long recovery, but back I think I got to like July or August right before fall camp. That's when I started kind of slowly getting back into it, and it was tough because I'm like, man, I ain't played football for real since like last season, so I had to like
Yeah.
get back into it and everything. And I'm like, all these guys got months of like they've been going, and I'm just kind of getting back into it. So it was kind of tough, but then I was able to make it back. I was a starter for that whole season. Um, did my thing during the season. We didn't lose a game. And then once again, we got to the playoffs. They put me on honorable mention again, bro. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you guys got me so messed up. And so I was low key like, I was hot. And that year, I went on to get like a interception every game in the playoffs, I think. And then like, obviously won the championship in Montana. And so that was back to back national championships. And um, yeah, it was awesome. I ain't gonna lie, it was just such a good time. And then I went into my last year. I mean, knowing that I'm a senior, this is the last ride. I was just trying to make it the best, and I was like, how it'd be that senior year. You get stronger, you a beast in the weight room, all that stuff. I was feeling good going to fall camp, and then we played Oklahoma State first game, and we lost that game, but we were just kind of like we went into the game like thinking it was gonna be easy for us, like they was gonna roll over, but like obviously nah, they're a Big 12 team for a reason,
Yeah.
and they got monsters over there too. So they kind of handed it to us, but I think we needed that to get that reality check because we were off of a two championships in a row. Like
Yeah.
we're thinking we all top of the world, but we got a reality check early. So I feel like we needed that, and then we went on to the season going doing pretty good. Um, and then we lost to NDSU in the season during the season. This is my first time losing to them, so I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, I was so hurt. And then
Yeah.
um and then we unfortunately lost some in the semis, so that was just tough, bro. So but then like after the season ended, it was a short turnaround. Like I had to go straight into training down in Texas for my pro day. So I got a couple weeks to pack and everything because I had to move out of my apartment up in South Dakota.
Yeah.
So went down to Texas. Training went really good. It was a really fun opportunity and experience that I had, and I think I was down there for 10 weeks, and then I got ready for my pro day on March 26th. That went pretty good, and obviously there's things like you want to do better, but I was just like, I'm not. I just did all that training for this, and I did what my body was prepared to do. I can't do anymore. You know what I mean? So I just couldn't like. I just had to be satisfied with what I left on the field. You know what I mean? I didn't want that killing my head. And so then the worst part was the waiting period right after that, because you like your agent's talking to all these teams, but you don't know anything.
Mhm.
So I'm just like calling my agent like every other day, like, what are you hearing? Like I'm trying to know.
Yeah.
And like they give you a range of like where you're gonna go and what teams like you and everything. So I'm just like, man, all right. And then the week of the draft, it got crazy. Like I'm hearing from teams. I'm like, oh, it's gonna get crazy. Like I don't know where
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I'm like, here, I can go here. And then and then day three of the draft was what I was like really like watching for. And at first I'm like, man, I'm going, like I'm getting drafted.
Yeah.
And but like the way it was going was there was no corners getting drafted. So I'm like, it's a domino effect because like obviously you need all
Yeah.
those corners to go.
Yeah.
And so none of them were getting drafted. So I'm like, man, my whole mood shifted. I got all these people in my house like
Yeah.
cheering me on and everything. So I'm like, man, this is not going good. And so my agent called me. He was just like, we might be going to Chicago on like a mini camp deal or an undrafted free agent. So I'm thinking, man, I'm going to Chicago then. But like, this is the crazy thing, bro. So like when people get the call, everyone's like pulling out their phones and everything.
Yeah.
My agent called me, and I'm like, and I ran upstairs, so everyone thought I got a draft call.
Yeah.
And then I get on the phone with my agent. He told me that, and I'm looking down. I'm looking because I'm upstairs. I'm looking downstairs, and I see everyone with their phones just like recording me, and I'm like, bro, I did not get drafted.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what
Like chill
y'all,
out, chill out,
you
chill
know
out.
what
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm right next to my dad. I'm like, Dad, you gotta tell him like it wasn't the call to get drafted. So because I was like, it wasn't like embarrassing, but it was just like it wasn't what they was expecting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so the whole time I'm thinking Chicago, but then right after the draft ends, like I don't know if you know this, but like right after the draft ends, if you're an undrafted free agent, you probably have like 5 to 10 minutes, maybe even
Yeah.
less, to pick where you want to go.
Yeah, I mean that's the
So
same for
I'm
with for baseball. It's like
yeah.
you'll know right when the draft ends, like you got 10 minutes, and if you didn't get drafted, you know if you're going somewhere or not.
Exactly. So it's the same thing. And so first off the rip, I'm thinking Chicago, like that's what he said. But then he called me. He was like, New Orleans is willing to give you an offer. Like they love you and they want you to be down there. So I'm like, say less. We going there. Like,
Yeah,
I was,
hell
and then
yeah.
I was lit, and I told everyone like we were going there, and it was just such a 180 turn of like where I was gonna be at. So it was just an awesome moment. I'm glad I was able to kind of all soak that all that in, and just take the experience and being surrounded by family and friends and everything. So, and then it leads me to where I'm at now. I've
Yes,
been down
sir.
here for about a week. Um, it's been an adjustment, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's been kind of different, just being in a whole different spot by myself, like not knowing who's really down here and everything, without like
Yeah,
my family and like my girlfriend and all that stuff. So, it's been an adjustment, but I feel like every move to something uncomfortable, like every move to something different is gonna be uncomfortable to start. You know what I mean?
hmm
So I kind of understood that, and I was like, I gotta kind of figure my stuff out before anyone else can kind of come down here and support me. You know what I mean? So it's been good though. Learning the playbook and everything, um, workouts, all that stuff. It's been involved with it. It's all comes along with it, and I feel like some people think like once you go to the professional leagues, it's just all like flowers and rainbows, money all over the
yeah,
place. But like, it's not really that. It's not that at all. Like, you really have to, especially in my shoes when I'm an undrafted free agent. Like, this is almost like you're a rookie or you're a freshman in high school or college. Like, you got to earn your stripes. You got to
yeah,
learn how to live out here on your own. You're a grown adult now. You're a professional. Like, no one's handing anything out to you. So it's just a lot of little stuff that I feel like people don't really understand until like you've been in that world. You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely. I mean,
So
like everyone just like from afar is like he's in the league now, like he's
you
got
know what
all
I
this
mean?
money, he's doing like he's getting everything he wants, and it's like that is just not the
Exactly.
case
It's
whatsoever.
not the
And like
case.
you
And
said,
like,
you got
yeah,
to grind. You got to grind.
exactly, bro. You can, and like, cause you know how to be in the professional leagues, like you could be doing everything right, and they'll still get rid of you just like that. Cause
Yeah,
like it's the professional leagues. Money ain't nothing. They'll give you your guaranteed money, and then you can be out of here. You know what I mean? So like literally, like you got to just be on your P's and Q's. You know what I mean? You got to have your head on right because like I said, things could be going well, and then all of a sudden it just takes like a dip. You know what I mean? So just kind of keeping your head straight, focused, being locked in, and just not being too high, being too low. You know what I mean? So, and I've been still trying to figure all that stuff out because I'm new to all this stuff, and so there's a guy down here that went to school with me up at South Dakota State. His name's Isaiah Stallbird, and it's been amazing to have him down here to like kind of show me around the city and just kind of be that big brother mentor to me. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to talk a little bit. So I was really upset when you never got the opportunity to play receiver at South Dakota State. I was like,
Man,
this guy can moss anyone. Like back in high school, like Joe Burrow said it about Jamar Chase, but I'd just be like in the pocket and I'd be like, Dallas is somewhere down, like Dallas is down there somewhere. Like I'm just launching it. The next thing you know, you make a
bro,
crazy catch. Um, and so I was pretty upset that you never got a chance at receiver. But
man, I know, me too, man.
yeah, going along with that, when you're lined up at corner against a receiver, what's your thought process? Like what's going through your head?
Well, I feel like the average person would say like, "Ooh, like I'm nervous. I gotta do this. I gotta do this." But really, you have to go in there thinking like, first off, you have to have a level head. You have to be confident in your ability. And so when I line up, I'm just like locked in on my key, locked in on what I need to be doing, and you just can't have too much on your mind because when you're thinking too much, that's when you do all this stuff. And so like I said myself in college, like you just gotta have all that confidence to go up there. Like you can guard anyone who lines up against you because I mean they're probably thinking the same thing right across from you. So it's literally a one-on-one, best man wins, like literally the definition of that. So I feel like when you just line up, you gotta have confidence in your ability, know that you're gonna make whatever play is presented to you. And I feel like that's what makes the great ones is because like they're not worried about what may happen, but they're willing to take that chance.
Yeah. What's up, everyone? It's Tristan. Whether I'm recording a podcast, training, or just trying to stay sharp throughout the day, hydration matters. That's why I partnered with Relight by Redmond. My two go-tos are mixed berry and lemon lime. And they have great ingredients, taste great, no problems at all, and just keeps me fresh throughout the entire day. Relight has helped me stay focused, energized, and ready to go, whether I'm hitting the gym, deep into an episode, or just living day-to-day life. They also have a great pre-workout, blueberry lemonade or peach mango, that gets you ready if you need a little extra kick before you hit the gym. If you want to try Relight for yourself, use the discount code Athletes Mindset for 15% off. I'll drop the link in the bio and in the description, and you can get a good taste of what Relight's all about. Yeah, 100%. I feel like corner, you could argue, is the toughest position in football,
For
just
sure.
because you could have the greatest game ever. You could have, five pass breakups, maybe an interception, but you get beat once for a touchdown, then
Everyone
everyone
sees
is
it.
like, everyone sees it, everyone's hating. And I think that just makes it one of the toughest because you could be perfect the entire game besides one play. And so
Man,
what do
and that's
you,
what I love because like, oh, sorry, what was your question?
no, 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 go ahead. I was just going to ask you to kind of like talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so like literally early on in college, like, because like you said, I was straight receiver and like I was transitioning into corner. So I'm like, I'm literally running with this guy and he's still making a catch. Like this is crazy. Like I
Yeah.
hate this position. But like my last 2 years at South Dakota State, I had a really good position coach, Coach Banks, and he was just telling me like sometimes like the receivers, he on scholarship too. You know what I mean? Like he gonna make good catches too. Like the beauty of our position is that we're put in these different scenarios and everything, whether you could be the hero or you could be the like you everyone gonna hate you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I said, you gotta be willing to deal with both. You could either make the game winning pick or you could give up the game winning touchdown. It's
Yeah.
literally the beauty and the ugly of the position. So I feel like at first it was so hard because I'd be like, I'm in great position. He still make this catch. Like, what am I doing wrong? But sometimes they just make a good play and you just have to live with that.
Yeah.
And you can always go to film and see what you could do better and then fix it that next day. And I feel like that's what I pride myself on is being coachable and just taking that coaching and up trying to apply it the next day when I'm on the grass. So yeah, it was tough, bro, because literally like you said, you could be playing the best defense and they'll still somehow catch it. And it happened to me in college a lot in games. And I'd be like, I'd say that like just smack him, be like, "Hey, good catch, bro," because like I'm right there, and it kind of feels
Yeah.
good when the guy's like, "I don't even know how I caught that." Like, good defense, bro, because they
Yeah.
know it too. You feel me? So
Yeah. 100%. I mean, you had 12 career interceptions. Do you think playing offense maybe like helped that a little bit, like in high school, or just kind of your like ball hawk skills? Um, and kind of what's it like you maybe guys running to fly, guys just going straight. Like, what's your thought process when you see the ball go up there? Were you thinking, all right, let me just break this up, or are you always going for the ball?
Yeah, I mean, it's I feel like being a receiver helped because like some people some people honestly are scared of the ball. Like when the ball goes in there, some people are actually like look at him and get scared and like don't know what to do. So I feel like being a receiver it helped me get natural with catching the ball and like seeing the ball in the air because like literally playing corner, once you like obviously bump and run the guy and then you run it with them, it's literally just like playing a receiver. It's literally playing receiver. So um I think that helped me out a lot and just being able to high point the ball and um sometimes you have to know whether to deflect it or to pick it off. You have to know like the angles and everything. But I mean literally if I could get close to getting two hands, I'm gonna try to pick it off every time. So
Yeah.
and then obviously you have to know the scenario like whether it's fourth down and 20 and they're throwing a Hail
Yeah.
Mary, you should
You
probably
don't want to
bat
be
it
the
down
guy
so you
that
can,
picks it
you
off
know what I
and
mean?
loses 40 yards. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's little stuff like that that it took me a lot to learn because like in high school I probably would have caught that. Like, you know what I mean? Just catch it.
Yeah.
But there's different like IQ and just different little tips and tricks in the game that you gotta learn to be, good at the next level.
Yeah. 100%. Being being a two-time national champion, what do you think just kind of builds a championship culture? What was your guys' culture like at SDSU?
I'm glad you brought this up because I think we talked about it earlier and like the way I came into SDSU, the culture wasn't really there. Like
Hmm.
everyone was kind of themselves, like or not themselves, everyone was kind of like a me person instead of like a
Yeah.
team. And so everyone's kind of doing their own thing. And that's obviously kind of showed why we weren't winning stuff that first couple of years. And then once we took that shift into learning who everyone really was and like why they're playing football and why they do the things they do, I feel like that just kind of puts it in perspective in terms of like, dang, like this guy, only reason he's out here is like, he's trying to take care of his family and he's trying to, like get away from some bad stuff that's going on in the world. Like some people need football just to get away from all the stuff that's going on in their life. So once you know that you can connect with people on a deeper level, it makes you want to go harder for them. You know what I mean? So I feel like all 11 people inside the ball were all like bought into the same goal, the same objective, and all that stuff. And we all kind of had that love for each other that, like, man, I'll run through a brick wall for you, bro. And like, literally, like, having that connectiveness and obviously having a winning goal and a winning culture takes it like so much farther. And like, being at Midwest, bro, like I feel like football, we had a really good culture, but like other
Yeah.
sports didn't have really good cultures. And you could like when I look back at
100%.
that, like I'm like, bro, I don't know how I even did that because that's like
Yeah.
just being okay with losing or being okay with shorter standards. Like, bro, I don't even know how I could even live with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, just expecting to win just every single time.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't matter who's on the other side. And I mean, I think you always did a great job at
Yeah.
this is when we stepped on the field, you told yourself like I'm the best guy on this field. Like there is
Yeah,
no
and you
one
got
better
to.
than me. And you have
Yeah,
to. And I think you did that. But once you have a whole team of guys doing that, it just builds
exactly.
the chemistry. And so you go out there and you just ball.
Because you can't have one person thinking that. You got to have multiple people. Like
Yeah.
you have to have a team like bought into that because like I said, it's a team game. One person can't win you a football game. Like they
Mhm.
can help you, but it ain't gonna win a lot of games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. During your time at SDSU, did you feel like you had some leaders or guys that you could kind of just go to? And what are kind of just like those characteristics that they had? And then also in your final season there, I feel like you were a leader, like you were a guy that people looked up to. What was just kind of your mindset as a leader?
Yeah, I would say when I first came in, there would be, obviously the captains, they were the leaders and everything. But um, as I grew up into the program, you could start to see not just the captains, but like leaders in every position group because captains can't watch everything. Like they're not going to be with you all the time. So you have to have leaders in your position group. And I feel like at first, you could tell some people weren't ready to lead and they kind of were, not taking care of themselves outside of the football field and kind of just not. It's almost like being a pro, but being a pro collegiately. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I feel like some traits to go with that is like obviously you got to be taking care of school, taking care of your life outside of football because um like you can just look at someone, you can kind of tell if they have their stuff together. You know what I mean? You can kind of tell if they, you know what I mean? So I feel like that is a big thing for me. You got to be able to be not only vocally like leading, but you also have to lead by example, which I feel like at first for me personally, like I was more of the example, like you're gonna watch me work, you're gonna see how it works around here. And I feel like that's where I took my next step in terms of like a leader because I started vocally being a leader. And I feel like that's what my coach really wanted me to do to take that next step, be vocal because I could show you how to do everything, but some people learn different. Some people learn by example, some people need to hear it, some people need to get screamed at. It's just all different. And I feel like that is an important thing of making a winning culture because you have to understand how people take criticism and how they take coaching. Because some
Hmm.
people, you have to kind of like talk to them nicely and like tell them what they did wrong. And some people, you got to get on them, you got to scream at them and tell them like, "What are you doing?" Like it's just so different. You got to learn, and only way to learn that is to learn your teammates. You know what I mean? So I feel like um, another good characteristic, like being vocal, being a leader by example, having just your life together, getting your school grade, like your grades up, all that stuff. And then also just kind of being approachable. Like some people, they kind of just walk around like don't talk to you,
Yeah.
but like sometimes you got to just like be willing to go up to the freshman and be like, "How you doing? Like, are everything good?" Like check up on them and everything, because that goes a long way. Like the freshman or rookie could be like, "Dang, like I never thought he would ever talk to me," and then like he can start opening up to you and then really getting to know him. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that
Yeah.
go into being a leader, but like not everyone's willing to do it, and not everyone has those characteristics. So
Definitely. I think especially like you talked about, like talking to the young guys, the guys who haven't been there, are still learning a whole bunch. Just having one
hmm
older guy just kind of come up to you and be like, "Hey, how's it going? You got any questions? Like, how can I help?"
exactly,
Because honestly, when I went to college at first, I just felt like so lonely, just like all by myself. I had to figure out
exactly.
everything by myself, and it was hard. I feel like I didn't have like an outlet or somewhere I could kind of talk to. And so it was just all in my own head, just, I'm not good enough, like a lot of negative thoughts, but just having someone that you can actually talk to about it. And especially an older guy who's
And can I
been
say
there
one
makes
thing
it
on
so
that,
much easier.
bro?
Yeah.
That is like I don't think people really understand how hard that is because like going to a whole new spot you've not used to, you don't know what to expect, nothing. And like at first, because when you went to college, your family was still long distance. Like you had to text all your friends, all your family, because you didn't know anyone in college yet. So like, I feel like that's something that people that didn't go to college or didn't, make it to this level, like I feel like they don't understand and how difficult it is for an athlete to kind of figure themselves out in a whole new situation and experience without having close ones or loved ones next to them. Because, like I
Yeah.
said, your close ones and loved ones, you feel so comfortable around them, and you can adapt with them. But when you're adapting to a new life by yourself, it's scary, bro. It's scary.
It is. Yeah. I mean, it's terrifying
Yeah,
too, especially when you are struggling and you don't really have like someone to go to where you just feel like you're doing it all on your own. You can almost just dig
hmm
yourself a hole and just like keep
exactly.
digging. And I mean, my freshman year, that's 100% how I felt until um, I spoke with like a sports psychologist and just had him just a mental skills coach. And he was like, you got to stop worrying so much. Like I was always worried
hmm
about like the worst possible thing that could happen, or if I fail, these
Yeah,
people are going to think this. And it just got to a
and
point
it's
where I was
hard
like,
not to think that though.
it's
It's
so
so
hard
hard
not to
not.
think that. Especially like my freshman year, I like would make it seem to all my friends back home and family, like, oh, it's going great. Everything's so great. Like, cause I didn't want them to
Yeah,
think I wasn't doing well. And
exactly.
that was so hard. And then it got to a point where I was like, I don't care. Like, if I need help, I'm going to ask for help. But otherwise, like, I'm not going to care what
hmm
other people think. Like, I just got to keep working. And that's the thing that I think a lot of young
And just the
athletes take a long time to learn.
and the fear of failure, it can drive someone so far, but it can also like drive someone so crazy too. You know what I mean? Like Just the
Yeah.
fear of I'm not good enough, or I need to do this because my family is supporting me for this, so I have to do this. I got to make this work. Like I can't fail because then people are gonna think of me as a failure. You know what I mean? So I feel like bro, just going right off what you said, bro. Like this is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it was hard. And I think I didn't have success until I stopped worrying about what could go wrong and thought like, how cool would it be if I have success right here? Like, what if I just like all
Hmm.
the confidence in the world, I just go do this. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if
Exactly.
all I'm thinking about in my head is that what's going to go wrong, then I'm never going to be
Mhm.
successful. Like I need to talk
Exactly.
somewhat positively to myself.
The mind, bro. You gotta train it. You gotta train it to think in the way
Yeah.
you want it to think because it can kill you or you can strive with it. You know what I mean? So training it to think positive and only positive can take you this far. Because when you just thinking negative, bro, your mind is so strong, bro.
Right. So kind of going along with that, like being in minicamp, being like a freshman again, what's kind of just been like your mentality going about things and what does like a day look like for you?
To start with, the day in my life right now has been like waking up around like 6:30, getting the facility, and then it's just like you eat and then it's meetings, 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 practice, lunch, meetings, 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 and then like a lift or something. But so like this last couple weeks we've been going from like I get there around 7 and we'd get back around like 4 or 5. So it's a real like work day. And I
Yeah.
know like OTAs are about to start this upcoming week, so my schedule will probably change a little bit. But my mentality has been, bro, just like, and I've had people like sometimes I just need my family to text me this sometimes, but it's just like I'm like, you have to realize that you belong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not an outlier, like every position, and you have to realize that you're here for a reason and they wanted you here for a reason. So I just kind of remember that and just knowing like what got me to this point. Like, obviously, this is my dream. Like, I'm literally living out my dream. Like, I have to realize that. I sometimes got
Yeah.
to reality check myself. Like, I'm literally living my dream. Like, there's nothing to really like be concerned about. Like, this is what I wanted. This is what I asked for. So I have to be blessed and I wake up every morning, just say a few things that I'm grateful for, and just realize like the air that I'm in right now, like not a lot of people can ask for this opportunity. So I just been kind of just every day just realizing the opportunity I have, being blessed, and then also just kind of like keeping my head down and just like grinding because the people who talk too much and just do
Yeah.
all that stuff, you know what I mean? Like they don't make it too far. Like I'm just trying to, let my play earn my role and just keep my head down, keep working, show everyone that what people already know is that I'm a hard worker, but no one in New Orleans knows that. So I gotta prove myself. I gotta show them what I am. And it's a business out here, and nothing's guaranteed. So you can't come in just thinking like, ooh, like my spot's like I'm here for a while. Like no, like
Yeah.
you're here on a 1 day contract every day. That's literally how it is. So literally, I've just been trying to just keep finding myself down here, adjusting to down this life down in New Orleans, and just keep and this is my job, so I literally just football studying.
Yeah.
I'm back studying football, which I haven't done in so long, so that's been new to me. But just kind of realizing that football is my job now, so I got to take that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have grinded and you've just been a dog to get to where you are now. And it's been so fun to watch. And as a guy who's working a 9 to 5 now, like I can tell you, I would way rather be playing baseball or playing professional football. Like it's
Yeah.
sick. Um, and I feel like a lot of people, they'll have goals that they'll strive for and then they accomplish them and they don't even recognize it. Like,
Hmm.
your younger self thinking that you would be, at camp right now for the New Orleans Saints would be like, this is unbelievable.
That's what I'm
And so you
saying.
just got to keep grinding. Like you got to appreciate everything that you've done to get where you are and then just keep going with it.
Exactly. And I have one thing to say. I feel like one thing that helped me get to this point was I always made a list of like goals that I wanted to accomplish for like, say like for the next like 6 months, 6 or 8 months. And like I always put like a piece of paper, wrote out all my goals. And then when I get to like, because sometimes you don't get all your goals, you know what I mean? Sometimes you don't accomplish everything. You have to live with that and you have to realize what you did wrong or what you came up short on. But I always write my goals for the near future. And I feel like that. helps drive me every day and just helps me realize like I still have stuff to obtain. Like I'm not comfortable
Yeah.
or complacent at all. Like I still have stuff to obtain. So obviously my dream was to make it to the NFL. I did that. Now I got to keep going. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
now I got to keep taking it up a notch. Like now I got to be able to stay in this league and be successful in this league. So just that's what I recommend to a lot of people is just to keep you a set of 6 goals, 5 or 6 goals. You know what I mean? Obtainable, specific. You know the SMART
Yeah.
goals we used to always do.
Yeah.
Literally that. But just like obviously, I mean, talk to God, tell him like achieve big, you know what I mean? Like only he will know. Like I say achieve big and just nothing can be short. Like you can do anything you want to do if you just put your mind to it and work for it. So I feel like you can put as big a goal as you want on there, but you have to work for it. You got to do what it takes to get to that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel like there's a lot of people who sometimes do set goals and they like are miserable until they achieve them. And I think you're a guy who has
Hmm.
just loved the process. Like
You got to.
you attaining those goals, you've enjoyed every step to it. Like you've grinded for it. And so when you do get to that point, you're like, I earned this. Like I deserved it. And now it's on
Exactly.
to the next. Which is
Exactly.
awesome.
Yeah.
Um, I want to ask you just a little bit. What do you wish like fans, especially, college football fans, NFL fans, would understood a little bit more about the game or just understood like what goes into being a professional athlete?
I feel like I realized this even during college, but it was like it's so much more than just physical. Like you can be lifting all these weights, you can be the fastest on the field, but like your mental has to be on point all the time. Like I mean, obviously there'll be times when you had a terrible practice. Like you know how it is. Like man, I've had the
Yeah.
worst practice. Like
Mm.
I'm not built for this. I suck. But like one thing I learned is like you have to have a football life, and then you have to have a life. You know what I mean? Like anything that goes on in football, that's football. You have to put a direct wall in between that. So, say you do have a bad practice, you have to wipe it off, leave it on the field, and then go enjoy your life because that's two different things. And
Yeah.
these sports don't last as long as your life will. You know what I mean? It's like these sports, they're not gonna be with you forever, and you have to understand that. So I feel like mentally people need to get their mind right in terms of for football you're gonna get beat, you're gonna lose, you're gonna all this bad stuff's gonna happen. It's just you have to train your mind to be ready for those out for those things to happen and what you will do to respond to that. And I feel like I did a pretty good job with that. Obviously, I've learned, and I wasn't as good at first, but having a mental strength coach and just learning all that stuff and being comfortable with it, it took me a lot farther than I thought I would get because, like I said, you're gonna get beat. But how are you gonna respond? Because you can get beat on a 30-yard post, 30-yard blur, but
Yeah.
you can make a pick and go all the way back for a pick six. You know what I mean? So you could either make it a positive response, or you could just mope and just make it a negative response, and things keep going bad for you. So it's all about the response. And I feel like people, high school athletes going into college, like I think if they realize that at an earlier age, it will help them in the long run because a lot of people are physically there, but behind the scenes, is their mind there? Because I'll be honest, like my mind wasn't there all the time. Like you would think I'm doing perfect, and then like behind the scenes when I'm at my house, I'm like, man, I'm going through it. Like this
Yeah.
is tough. Like I can't even do all this stuff. So I feel like once you train your mind to just, like I said, you just got to train your mind to respond in those different outcomes. You have to think before a big game. You have to think about that big play you're gonna make. But you also have to think, what if this happens and how am I going to respond to it? So there's two different sides of that you got to train your mind to think.
Yeah, definitely. And you can't feel sorry for yourself, especially at a position like yours. Like you get beat
Exactly.
once, you can't feel sorry for yourself the next series because you're going to get beat
Exactly.
again. And you just got to
Exactly.
like flip that switch. Like you said, talk positively. Like, all right, he got lucky that time. I'm back to being a
Hmm.
dog, like all the confidence in the world. And I think a
Exactly. And
lot of athletes
there's different
struggle.
techniques you can have like in terms of positive self-talk. You can I know there's like little things you can like when people put wrist tape, you can like write different things like put your why on there, like why you do what you do. Like I used to always put like family over everything, just so like if something bad happens, I can, just remember like I'm doing this for my family. Just write little notes on like anything. Like I know people write stuff on their gloves and their cleats and stuff just to kind of take you back to like why you started what you're doing and like why you're doing what you do. And then like some people need like I know one guy I played with, he put like a red circle on his tape for like a stop sign. And like whenever something bad would happen, he would just hit that stop sign just to reset
Yeah.
his mind, clear his mind and just kind of move on to the next play. So there's different tactics. It's just you have to, train your mind to think that way.
Yeah. I like that. Could you elaborate a little bit on what your why is? Like, why did you put in all this work to get to where you are now? What's your reason for that?
Like my first answer would be like obviously my family, like they've seen the ups and downs of my growth throughout life and football. So just knowing they're always in my corner and they're always supporting me, like always you could say your family, but I feel like if you took a deeper dive, I would just say like for me, like this is all for me. You know what I mean? Like we talked about, I dreamed about doing this and I had aspirations. Like I know back in middle school I wrote like we all wrote out our goals and like my goal was to make it to Division 1 football and then go play in the NFL. And so like you said, like you have to keep thinking about that little 5-year-old running around playing sports. Like if he's seen where I was at right now, like he wouldn't even believe me. You know what I mean? Like he would
Yeah.
be excited running around and stuff. So like you just gotta take yourself back to that little stuff that you had and just like be be excited about what you've accomplished in your life because not everyone's doing this. Not everyone's
Yeah.
like blessed to have this opportunity. So like I said, just being blessed and just enjoying every day at a time and just enjoying where I'm at, being right where my feet are at, not, thinking into the future and just kind of taking day by day and just enjoying it. And but I'd say my why is obviously my family, but it's also for me, you know what I mean?
Yeah. One of my favorite things at Portland, we would always joke around. Like we would be talking with a guy, he'd be like, "Hey, you want to go get a lift and you want to go, we got to go hit a little bit more." And someone would be like, "Oh no, like I'm kind of tired." And you'd just be like, "Oh, well, the world needs average people. Like, don't do the hard stuff. Like, just be average." And so, I mean, like, same with you is you're not average. Like you push yourself to be where you are. And like you said, you're doing it for you. Because
Mhm.
you don't want to be average. And so I think that's just like the way of life you have to live if you want to do things that are extraordinary or actually accomplish the goals you really want to accomplish.
Because everyone can do average, but not everyone can do like that next level, like be
Yeah,
different and everything. You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely. So I want to end every conversation with the same question. If you could go back and tell your younger self just one thing about the mental side of football or just the mental side of sports in general, what would you tell yourself?
I'm glad you asked this. 'Cause I got it out of my head. Don't worry about what anyone say. Like literally, like anyone who is not in your shoes or is not where you want to be in like 5 to 10 years, don't listen. Like, okay, I'm not gonna say don't listen to what they say, but don't hear what they're saying because people are gonna, and I'm starting to learn this with the pros, like people are gonna talk about you in crazy ways. Like, especially being in my position, like you make a game winning pick, people are gonna write about you in the news, you're gonna be the biggest player. And then when you get a touchdown score, you're gonna be, oh, this guy sucks. It's just such a
Yeah,
recency bias, you know what I mean? So thing I would tell my younger self is to don't listen to the outside noise because it will kill your mind mentally. It'll make you overthink, and it just won't allow you to be your full potential. Because if you're listening to the media and what they say, you're gonna buy into what they say. You're gonna become what they say.
you're gonna
You know what I
think,
mean?
yeah, you're gonna think that's who you are.
Exactly, and you can't think about that because only you know what you can be and who you really are. So I would just say, and it was tough for me at first because sometimes I would want to look online and see what they're saying
Yeah,
about me, but like you got to do it. You got to be smart with it because one week you could be looking in the headlines like, "Oh, I had a crazy guy. I'm gonna look at this," but then the next week they're not writing for your sake. They're writing for their job and for their sake.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So they just write what pay keeps money in their pockets. So I'll just say, just don't listen to outside noise. Just keep a tunnel vision, be locked in, keep your loved ones, keep a keep a little circle around you of your close friends, the ones you can trust, and just keep grinding, keep working because the outside world is not there for your sake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Dallas, thank you for coming on. I'm so excited to see just all the great things that you do. Keep grinding. I'm a New Orleans Saints fan now, so
Yes, sir.
I'm excited to see what you do, and we'll keep in touch, my boy.
Man, appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. See you, brother.
All right, bro.
Thank you again to Dallas for sharing his journey and insight into the mental side of the game. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who might find it valuable. Thanks for tuning in and keep moving forward. Until next time.